Well, good Tuesday morning. It is 7 a.m. Love having you with us this morning. Thanks for waking up bright and early. Maybe you're just getting up and enjoying the beginning of your day. Some people saying a little bit chilly this morning in the mid to upper 50s. You trust me when I tell you that you will not be saying that a little bit later on this week. We're talking about extremely hot weather. Actually could be dangerous. So we'll be talking about watching the elderly, keeping an eye on the pets, making sure that they have enough water. If you do have them outside, please do not keep them outside in an extended period of time. If you're going to take them for walks or yourself, I would highly recommend you start thinking about that very early in the morning. You know, I walked out this morning and thought it is so nice to have the sun up in the 5 a.m. hour just to get your day started. You're missing out on a lot if you're sleeping in. Of course, the kids are home from school. We haven't even officially started summer yet, but it's going to feel like it as we get into Thursday and even into Father's Day. Yes, a good reminder for you if you haven't gotten anything or made anything for Dad yet. Father's Day weekend is this weekend. So let's just take a look at it. For right now, you're going to enjoy less humidity. Today's high only 83, and I say only because look at what's coming. 64 for our low. So this is the end of the pick days, and you can see the Cards icon. Yes, the Cardinals are in action tonight at Busch Stadium. We'll talk about that in just a second. We start to creep up 91, and you can see the sun shining for tomorrow, dropping down to 70, and then here we go. Thursday, 95 for your high, but we do have a chance right now, 30% chance of evening into that overnight hour into the early morning as we go from Thursday into Friday. 95 for that high. You're actually going to have less humidity because that's moving in, so not as muggy as the feel is going to be on Thursday as we get into Friday. Still 91 degrees, but again, less humidity. 69 for your low. Then we get into Saturday and Sunday as we get into the holiday weekend as you celebrate dads. 94, 73 for the low, and then look at Father's Day. 98 degrees. 77. I mean, we don't even really drop down that much as we go into the overnight hours. And then Monday, 97. So yes, we've got some stretch of warm weather coming for you. For any outside activities, please be extremely careful for you, your kids. Obviously, as we said, the seniors, if you've got elderly neighbors, do me a favor, start checking on them and don't forget to take care of those pets. Welcome in, by the way. It's the Real Monica Adams Show. If you're new to the show, hi, and we are so thrilled to have you. Every time we start each day, I find that we've got more and more people. Our numbers continue to grow. I'm keeping an eye on it. We are now inching closer to 28,000 on our Facebook page. We are streaming live for you on YouTube and Facebook. Tomorrow, Thursday, Friday is when we also add X and Rumble and Instagram, and those platforms continue to grow as you tell us what platforms you would like to see us on. And then don't forget, we have a podcast on top of the talk show that we drop on all the audio platforms, and that is on Thursday. We provide for you the weather as well as the news you can use, sports, and then our guests that come in. Today, you know him from the Cardinals games. He's known as that one guy. Todd Thomas will be in today. We'll talk about his years as the in-house MC for the Cardinals, some of his favorite memories in baseball. Some people were commenting last night when I said that he was going to be on, said that they remembered him from the Rams games. We'll talk about any other sports teams that he's been affiliated with. He's got a DJ business that's thriving. We'll talk about that, and maybe you'd like to hire him for your events. But the most important reason I wanted to bring him on is for the Unicorn Ball that he'll be talking about this coming weekend, and that's all in honor of his dear wife that he lost last summer. They almost celebrated 28 years of marriage. Cancer sucks. That's the hashtag that I use, and it absolutely does. We'll talk about her fight with breast cancer. We'll talk about what the Unicorn Ball will be raising money for and giving back to our community. All of that coming up for you in the next hour. Let's start off, though, in news. We're going to give you the local, regional, and national news that you can use. And we'll start off with an accident that happened overnight on eastbound 70. Now, all is clear now, but unfortunately, a person was killed. Investigators obviously looking into why that person was trying to cross this stretch of eastbound 70 in Bridgeton. It happened just before 2:30 this morning on Interstate 70 eastbound in Bridgeton near the McKelvey Road overpass, not far, of course, from 270. It involved a large commercial vehicle, likely a tow truck, according to the Missouri Highway Patrol. Authorities say that the vehicle that struck the person stopped, They did remain on the scene to help with the investigation. The circumstances surrounding what exactly happened, still unclear. The scene did clear not long after 4:30 this morning. One of the top news circulating on all local TV stations, and I was watching and listening also when I was coming in this morning on KMOX, has to do with an execution. So, Missouri Governor Mike Parson yesterday turned down the clemency request for condemned inmate David Hosier, a move that likely clears the way for his execution. The 69-year-old faces lethal injection today for the 2009 deaths of a Jefferson City couple, Angela and Rodney Gilpin. Randy Dampf, a Jefferson City police officer at the time of the killings and now an investigator for the county prosecutor, said that Hosier had a romantic relationship with Angela Gilpin and was angry at her for breaking it off. The Missouri Supreme Court upheld his conviction back in 2019. This execution, by the way, would be the second in Missouri this year. Brian Dorsey, if you remember, was executed in April for killing his cousin and her husband back in 2006. We always promise to give you news and follow up on those stories. The U.S. versus Hunter Biden. Now, the trial is entering day 7 with continued jury deliberations, and many of the comments are the choices have consequences. The prosecution says testimony in the trial has been personal, even ugly. They're using words of overwhelming but necessary. Hunter Biden's 6th day of trial, which is related to his gun purchase back in 2018, kicked off with a brief rebuttal case from prosecutors before both the prosecution and the defense teams hashed out jury instructions with the presiding judge. They held closing arguments and finally jury deliberations. The first son is facing 3 charges related to his October 12, 2018 purchase of a Cobra Colt 38 handgun, including making a false statement in the purchase of the gun, making a false statement related to information required to be kept by a federally licensed gun dealer, and possession of a gun by a person who is an unlawful user or addicted in a controlled substance. A verdict could be reached as early as this morning. Hunter Biden did not testify in the case after they floated the possibility on Friday, saying that he would take the weekend to make a decision. And I did hear that if convicted, he could face 25 years in prison. So let's talk about money that could be coming to the state of Missouri that we're missing out on. Illinois getting about $150 million from this. New York getting about $850 million. What am I talking about? Online betting. Now, you might remember back about a month ago, there was a push for voters to approve in November as the state maintains it's missing out significant taxpayer money. For example, as I mentioned, Illinois, $150 million. These are some of the top 10 in the country. Again, New York, $850 million. That's from the U.S. Census Bureau. Supporters needed to collect roughly 180,000 voter signatures to get sports betting on the ballot about a month ago. The campaign says it gathered more than 340,000. A lot of our sports teams, like the Cardinals and the Blues, and even the Battlehawks, were doing different campaigns to get behind this. The proposed constitutional amendment would allow each of Missouri's 13 casinos and 6 professional sports teams to offer on-site and mobile sports betting. Teams would control the on-site betting and advertising within 400 yards of their stadiums and their arenas. The initiative also would allow 2 mobile sports betting operators to be licensed directly by the Missouri Gaming Commission. And under that initiative, at least $5 million annually in licensing fees and taxes would go toward problem gambling programs, with remaining tax revenues going toward elementary, secondary, and higher education. If approved by voters in November, state regulators would have to launch sports betting no later than December 1st, 2025. Before we get to sports, have you been around the Missouri Botanical Garden lately, within the last 24 hours maybe? Is there an awful smell? Did your kids go, ooh, gross, what is that? It's a rotting corpse smell. The Missouri corpse flower finally blooming at the Missouri Botanical Garden. This is the 15th corpse flower. Truly has the similar smell of a rotting corpse. But you would think you'd want to stay away from that. That does not happen. There are long lines to see it. I mean, it is gorgeous, but it smells horrible. That's Millie, by the way. So you have just a little bit longer if you want to and smell that and see Millie. All right, let's get into sports news. The Cardinals are back in action. They will be playing at Busch Stadium tonight, and game time will be at 6:45. We do want to mention the blood drive I mentioned yesterday. It continues not only today, but through tomorrow. I mentioned, look at Fred Bird doing his job, rolling up his sleeves. You can go to redcross.org and then type in Cardinals. You also get this commemorative free shirt. There it is, for the Lou and for the American Red Cross. And as far as the Stanley Cup is concerned, if you've been following it, Florida, the Panthers going up 2-0 against the Edmonton Oilers. Now the series shifts to Edmonton. This is a really interesting one because Edmonton hasn't been in the Stanley Cup since 2006. Both teams extremely hungry for this. Now you're up to date. In the news you can use, you've got your weather, you've got your sports news. We give you everything that you used to turn on the news for. No longer do you need to do that. And then we get into what this show is all about. Positivity, hope, light, optimism, changing the community together. All of you that are signing on will get a chance to see your comments, ask any questions you want of my guest. Todd Thomas is coming in. We know him from the Cardinals, but I want you to know his heart, his soul, the family man that he is. He is continue on in life without the love of his life, who he lost last summer. We're going to talk a lot about that as Todd Thomas will be in the blue chair when we return.
She's a special woman and done so much for St. Louis.
Watching her work is one of the most incredible things you can see.
She just sees value in everyone.
Sometimes people just need you to sit with them and hear them. I feel heard.
The time flew by, and it was like sitting and talking to a friend.
Not only creating a better place here in St. Louis, but to inspire others. It's always great to have examples like you.
You have such a light and such a presence, and I could feel it this morning.
We knew right away when you started this, we wanted to be on your show. Thanks for having us.
And I look forward to seeing how you rock and roll and shake it up.
Welcome back. If you don't have one of those in your backyard, you need one. We want to thank Madonna and the family at Just Pools for being one of our newest sponsors. Just Pools on the West Outer Road. Their exact address is 3987 West Outer Road in Arnold. You know, we did our show with them about a month or so ago. We had so much fun. Not only do they have in-ground and above-ground pools, but also all the chemicals that you need, and they are constantly having wonderful sales on those all-clear chemicals. And how about for the kids? Bring the kids in, let them pick their favorite toys and the floating devices that they want for the summer. You can see at the top there, Just Pools, not only, as I said, pool, but spa specialist. So maybe you want the pool and the hot tub combination. I have been checking in with her, and they do still have the opportunity for you to have an in-ground pool installed by the fall. You remember how far behind all the pool companies were for 2 years during the pandemic? Not any longer. They've really caught up with that. So a couple left for you if you want to do that this summer. Above ground, in-ground pools, spas, and everything that you need for the pool. That's the one, that, by the way, that they have on the West Outer Road. And one of the biggest things that they love to do now is right where you see across from that pool. The fire features, the water features, and all the rock features. The sun tanning ledge, she said, is one of the top features that everybody's asking for. So there you go. That could be your backyard. You'd be the talk of the neighborhood. Just Pools on the West Outer Road in Arnold. Thank you so much for being a part of the Real Monica Adams team. Well, welcome back to each and every one of you. Thanks for being a part of the show. I just mentioned my guest today, Todd Thomas. You know him. That one guy. We'll find out how he got that moniker. First of all, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
How is it that I've worked in TV and radio for 30 years? You've been involved in many of the sports teams for many, many years, and you and I have never met in person.
I don't know. I was thinking about that on my way in. I'm like, typically you'd cross paths at some point, but here we are. Finally.
Crazy. Exactly. Well, and we've got a really powerful show on tap for you today. Besides having fun and talking about all the years that he's been involved in sports, it is the love of your wife that I immersed myself for many, many hours over the last several weeks, and especially last night. Dug deeper, and I'm glad I did, because I found some things that I hadn't seen in the last couple of weeks about the two of you. And I have actually a quote that I'm going to give from a woman that posted about your wife when she passed. So we'll get into that in just a second. For all of you, don't leave. If you have to leave, please come back and watch bits and pieces of this. That's the beauty of streaming, that you can go back and then you can share this really powerful hour with your followers, your family, your friends. Okay, let's go back into the sports aspect. So somebody was saying that they loved watching you with the Rams. How many teams have you been affiliated with?
Well, so it's Cardinals and the St. Louis Blues. I really haven't done anything for the Rams.
Okay.
But This is my 27th season with the Cardinals, and for about 7 years, I also did the Blues.
So you didn't do anything with the Rams?
I never did anything.
So,
well, the funny thing about the Rams was that that's actually what got me the job with the Cardinals. When the Rams moved here in '97, they needed someone to play music during the games. A friend of mine was a local radio DJ. He couldn't do it. They wanted him to. He suggested me. Long story short, after the season, I called the person. I said, hey, who are you going to hire this year? We're doing that this week. Glad you called. So I got nervous and called the Cardinals to say, hey, what would this job entail if I get this? Well, what do you do? And I told them, and they go, well, we're looking to maybe bring someone on. And so I got a job with the Cardinals, but never anything with the Rams.
Oh, that's
so it's
hilarious.
kind of crazy how that all manifested.
Well, yes, manifested is such a perfect word,
Yeah.
right? So 27 years, I mean, that's pretty much, well, we're going to talk about your wife in just a second. You two were married for 27 years, right?
Yeah, we were 2 days shy of 28.
28,
yeah,
right. So there he is, by the way, that one guy. You see him at the Cardinals games, and that's, of course, Ballpark Village right outside, getting everybody riled up with that. So you mentioned radio. Did you work in radio?
So here's what's up. The
Here's what's up.
Here's the craziest thing for me is that growing up, I was always, the class clown, always getting in trouble for talking out in class, and kind of wanted to be the center of attention. I wanted to be on radio or on TV or whatever, and went to college in radio and television, and then switched over to speech communications just because I was like, okay, if I just get radio television degree, it's just radio television. If I do speech communications, I can kind of do it all and see what happens. I did have one job in radio. Do you remember 101 The River?
Oh, absolutely. Well, now, when were you there? Because I was at WIL when the River was affiliated with us.
Okay.
Do you remember what
Van
year?
Lorenz was there.
Yes, he was.
And I don't remember the guy who was the overnight guy, Ken
Williams, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Who is
okay.
now with Vic Porcelli.
Okay. So all those guys were on the river at the time, and I got a job, and I was basically filling in on an overnight, and for $7 an hour or something.
Oh, yeah, we didn't make a lot. Everybody thinks you're going to make millions when you go into business.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, whatever.
And it was at that point that also my DJ business and this job with the Cardinals kind of catapulted me. And so here I am, making great money as a DJ with my company, and it's going, and then here I am coming in and doing overnights for $7 an hour, and I'm like, I saw the writing on the wall,
choice.
and people were getting fired left and right, and people were, you know how the industry is, just people gobble up other companies, and you get, and probably why you're here, right? So radio wasn't for me.
How crazy! Do you know what year that was?
Okay.
I was at WIL when we were, and this was in Brentwood?
Yeah.
Was that when you worked
there?
No,
we were
was
in
it
the
when
studio that
we
was
Creve Coeur?
downtown.
Downtown.
This was the one that was
So it
shared with
split.
ABC.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then they became part of WIL, the River, the Point, all of that. Yes. So it was when it was split. So then, no, I was just going to say, yet again, we didn't cross paths. You
Right.
got to be kidding me. It was getting closer and closer.
Just missed
it took
you.
30 years for us to meet.
One quick story about that. So really, you have carts. The music was automated. It's not like I could play music. It's just it came on, and then there was little areas that you'd come on and get to say whatever. Well, no one gave any care about from midnight to 5 a.m. But was important is Van Lorenz had a morning show, and I had these. I think they were carts or whatever, but that you had to record them, the news that he was going to use in the thing. And one morning I screwed it up or whatever, and I never will forget that he yelled at me pretty well.
Oh, Van, come on. Gosh dang it. It's so funny, Todd. If you're just tuning in, by the way, this is Todd Thomas. We know him as that one guy. You've seen him for 27 years affiliated with the Cardinals, Blues as well. One of the things I'm teaching my interns, who I think you met this morning, is... And we talked about this on the show yesterday, how important it is to lead and not boss. How important it is to have patience and kindness and not be yelling at people. Van, shame on you. We're looking at some wonderful pictures of you. There's so many people that have loved you picking up their babies, being nice to their parents, being nice to their grandmas, and just making them smile. That, by the way, is my assistant's husband. And she labeled that picture, by the way, Todd, for my director as Todd with the drunk guy.
Yeah.
I think that was his birthday party, and you
It
guys
was,
ran into each other.
And oddly enough, that was a giveaway item that we had, and he loves to go to Cabo. So
Yes.
I think it was fitting, a great gift that I gave him.
He better still wear that in Cabo. I'm going to give him some trouble about it. So who came up with that moniker, that one guy?
Okay, this is a crazy story that. So if you could imagine in the mid-late 90s, I'm DJing lots of weddings. I'm working for the Cardinals. I'm working afterwards at patios. And so everywhere I go, a lot of times people are, hey, you're that one guy that DJ'd my wedding, or you're that one guy at the Cardinal games, or you're that one guy I saw here. So that already is built in.
Sure.
And then this year, Ozzie Smith was the only time that he was a broadcaster for the Cardinals on KPLR, and he was in an elevator at Busch Stadium. I was running to catch the elevator, and he said, "Hey, we got to hold the door for that one guy. He's got to talk on the mic." And I'm like, "Okay, Ozzie Smith knows
Just call
me."
me.
So that's how that got born.
Well, and it's funny because we used to talk about this in television of what everybody gets called, right? So you get stopped. For years, I did traffic before I did news, and they were like, hey, you're the traffic girl. I'm like,
Right.
I'm more than the traffic
Right.
girl. And then Glenn Zimmerman would get, oh, you're the weather guy. You're the news girl.
Yes.
So when you go somewhere, and I have caught myself in the last several years from stopping to fill in the blank for someone when they say, aren't you... And my husband's like, just tell them, yes, you're the woman from TV. And I said, no, because you never know. And for you, DJing,
Right.
Blues, Rams,
Right.
maybe Lindbergh High School. I mean, who
Yes.
knows where it's from?
Right.
Do you pause and not fill in the blank for them like I'm doing?
It depends where I am and what's going on. A lot of times people are like, aren't you? And I'll say, are you a Cardinal fan?
Yeah.
And if they are, then that's typically where they would have known me from.
Right.
So that's kind of.
You just, I think I love the fact that someone told me one time, don't fill in the blank just yet, because you don't know. They may have said, no, you weren't. And I've done it before where someone's like, she's in TV. And then they go, yeah, we know that. But no, you were my personal trainer. I'm like, see, that's why
Yes.
you don't fill in the
Right,
blank. Let's
right,
not
yeah.
assume. So again, a lot of fun over the years. That one guy, not only, I was just going to say, not only do you see him, he's got the jersey, but you have your own bobblehead, Todd.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. So Ballpark Village a few years ago, they would do away game giveaways. And so they picked 7 to 10 away games in which they would have watch parties at Ballpark Village while the Cardinals were out of town. And each game, there was an item that they would give away, and they honored me as the last one of the year with my own bobblehead, and that was really cool because my family came in. I mean, it was a big deal.
Absolutely. Okay, so
fun.
looking at that, and this is what I always wonder, because I've interviewed a lot of athletes when I covered sports over the years, and I would look at their bobblehead, and some of them really resembled them. Others, they were like, that doesn't look like me, does it, Monica? So when you saw that, what did you think?
I was very happy.
Okay, you
Yeah, 'cause
kind of
I've
look like
seen-
Ryan Reynolds
I've
there.
seen some bad ones, yeah.
You're like, I love that. Thank
They
you very
didn't
much.
do me dirty.
Exactly. Okay, so we go from that, and we also mentioned his DJing business. How long have you been involved in weddings and events and all that?
Right, yeah. So I graduated from SIU Carbondale in 1992, and then I started working on the landing at a bar called the Dirtwater Fox when karaoke was just starting. So I was the entertainment director down there. And then in 95, actually it was 96, is when I started my DJ company called Porta Party DJs. There it is, for your on-the-spot entertainment.
Genius.
If you notice, the logo is a complete... from Johnny on the Spot.
Yes.
See how that all works
It's homage to
Yes,
Johnny on the
homage.
Spot, exactly. And there it is for all of you. So what has been your favorite? You have some favorite memories from events that you've done?
Oh my gosh, I could really write a book.
I'm sure.
Probably, I don't know, man. One of the craziest things that happened was it was actually early on. I was DJing a wedding over in Illinois at it was an old like gymnasium of a school, and it was basically one of those fried chicken and keg beer parties, and the groom quickly was overserved. And at this point,
Shocking, Todd. Shocking.
Monica,
it's not a crazy drunk uncle.
Okay,
I'm sure there was there
so check
too.
this out. So they've got these long tables that just have that plastic kind of over the top of them, and they've got one decoration in the whole gym, and it's this paper bell that's hanging down over the dance floor. That's one of those ones that folds around and kind of real cheap. And so the groom comes up. So I'd already played "You Shook Me All Night Long" by AC/DC, and the groom comes up, and at this point, let me tell you what he's wearing: only tuxedo pants, no shirt, no socks, no shoes. And he says, "Hey, I want you to play Hell's Bells." And I said, "Well, I just played "You Shook Me All Night Long," and Hell's Bells really is in it. He goes, "I'm the groom. You play the song." So. The best man is how I got the gig, was standing next to me. I said, I don't know how this is going to go, but I'm going to play it. So I play the song. Everyone gets off the dance floor, but the groom knew what he wanted to do. And he pulls the table out underneath that bell, and he hops up on the table, and he's going to try to knock it down. I said, this isn't going to go well.
No.
Not do I get those words out of my mouth that he jumps up, hits the bell, knocks it down, comes down the end of the table. It falls out from under him. Hits his head on the floor. It was loud as could be. Gets up, puts rock and roll hands in the air, and then slams a beer. Oh, God. What am I
taken
doing?
away to ambulance?
No,
he wasn't that
just
hurt.
had a knot on his head. I think the liquid had helped him, I guess.
Yeah, he definitely had the liquid courage going. Again, writing a book, doing a short film, I'm sure, of this is what I've seen. Right. All those funny videos that we see, he's seen it all firsthand.
Oh, for sure.
I'm going to give this a little plug for you. So for those that might want to hire you, how would they find you?
Oh, yeah, really easy. We've got a website called portapartydjs.com.
Okay. So weddings, events, festivals, etc.
Yeah, we do like right now we've been doing lots of graduation parties, but we do tons of weddings. Like my company did over 85 weddings in September and October last year. So
wow, congrats!
Yeah, we do a lot.
How many people do you have working with you?
Typically 5 to 7 DJs, but there were about 4 or 5 days last year that we did 12 events in a day. I don't want to be that busy, but with the pandemic and everything coming out of that, people were trying to get things done, and so I had a philosophy of just don't say no. Be a yes man and try to figure it out later, and that's what I did, and it's worked.
How far out are you booked?
Well, we have open dates next month, and then we have dates that we can't take on in October.
Sure.
So it just depends.
Depends
on
again,
the day.
reach out for him. How far do you travel?
Well, I've done weddings in Cabo, in Jamaica, in Mexico. Also, where else I go? Yeah, all over.
Good.
I mean, mainly, the St. Louis area.
Yeah, but if they have destination weddings, they want to bring you along.
Yeah, those are actually so much fun. What I always like to do is go a little early, and then you start meeting the family, and so then when you do the wedding, then you're kind of like, hey, look at Uncle Jimmy over here. It just falls, it's like you're part of the family. So it's really fun.
Absolutely. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I'm going to look at some comments. If you have any questions, or maybe you have some memories of things you want to share with Todd from over the years, maybe with Cardinals or the Blues, or maybe he did an event for you. I'll look at those comments and pass those along to him. And we're going to shift gears. I want to talk about the love that he and his wife had and the unicorn ball. That's why he's dressed like this. He even has a costume we might make him put on. Yes, he's got a tail on that costume. We're going to talk about how you can get to the Unicorn Ball tickets, how you can donate and help out with this, all the organizations that are going to benefit. That's all coming up for you when we return on The Real Monica Adams Show.
When I started MyPillow, it was just a problem solution, one product company. Well, since then, with the help of my dedicated employees, we now have hundreds of products, some you might not even know about. To get the word out, we're having a $25 extravaganza. 2-pack multi-use MyPillows, $25. MyPillow sandals, $25. And for the first time ever, our 6-pack towel sets, you guessed it, just $25. Our brand new 4-pack dish towels, $25. And I've never done this before. Premium MyPillows with all new Giza fabric, any size, any loft level, even king size for only $25. And there's so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code for our $25 extravaganza. Order $75 and over. Your entire order ships absolutely free.
Welcome back. It is 7:28, and yes, thank you to Mike Lindell. A lot of you have been asking me what are some of my favorites. Hey, quiet, Monica. What are my favorites? Let's see. I love the MyPillow 2.0. Okay, so I tried out the first one. I like the fact that they had another iteration. The 2.0, I'm keeping to the comment that I have to stress. You have to put it in the dryer for 15 minutes before you use it. Otherwise, you're going to be like, well, the pillow's like only this big. No, it will fluff up, and then you will sleep so well. I could not believe believe how well I slept last night. And one of the comments all my clients that I personal train that come to the house mention was my dogs. The dog pillows and the throws have been a huge hit in our household, especially my rescue dog Opus. A lot of you know he was abused. He is so comfortable. He's out. He looks at everybody, just kind of does the side eye. He's sleeping like amazing. So if you have pets, I would get the pet beds, but I also would get the throw because they love to kind of nest and curl up in that. If you like to be by the pool or boating, I would tell you to buy the sandals or the slides, and then also the beach towels, and then the sheets and the regular towels for your house. Those are the things that I've really loved, and it's all from mypillow.com. So don't forget to put in your promo code of Monica Adams for your big discounts. Okay, let's see. Love the name of your DJ business, Todd. If you're just tuning in, Todd Thomas is my guest. How can you not? Stephanie says, I remember the bar on the landing. I worked at Embassy Suites at the time. Very cool bar. Yeah, you just brought back some memories. I completely forgot about that one.
Yeah. So the crazy thing is that of all the stuff that I've done, that still to this day is one of the greatest memories of working down there, because we didn't do any promotion or advertising or anything. We were just in the basement of the Embassy Suites on the landing, and we just did a really fun show. It was crazy stuff. Like, so I was the MC, and then there was a DJ, and we had a spinning wheel of specials, and we had a broad tree, and I mean, we had all kinds of it was crazy. It was shenanigans.
Well, you mentioned karaoke. So I remember, I think the very first place that had karaoke was a place called Cattleman's. It was up in Florissant.
Okay.
And I still to this day, if somebody invited me to go to karaoke, I would do it in a heartbeat. It is so much fun with your friends, with your family,
What's your
etc.
jam?
I used to do a lot of Celine Dion and a lot of Whitney Houston.
That's hard. You must be good.
I did. I actually won a contest and went to Vegas.
Holy cow!
Yeah, well, I'll have to come out now that we've met each other. And we need to do this somehow. We need to do it. We should do a fundraising.
Well, let me tell you about one of my favorite groups that I have. It's called Rockstar Live Band Karaoke.
Okay.
So if you can imagine, you like to sing karaoke. Well, imagine if you were to get on stage and do it with a band. So this is a band. It's a guitar player, a bass player, a drummer, and then I'm the MC, and we do over 350 songs. And instead of you getting up and singing words
to a track,
yeah, you're the lead singer.
Oh, I love
it's
it.
great for
You just give me
corporate
a chill.
events. Yeah, corporate events. We've traveled around it. We used to be in a couple of the casinos. We would do like a weekly show, but it's so much fun.
Well, the lasting power of karaoke is unbelievable, because I'm literally going back to, it was either 89 or 90 that I remember Cattleman's brought it into town, and I've had tons of friends over the years that have loved it. Do you know Gordon Montgomery?
Oh, that name sounds
Do you know
familiar.
Kelly Lamb?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so Kelly's husband, he
Okay.
was big into DJing, and the two of them are doing their own show now, but he was very big into karaoke. Great singer. He used to be with a band, so he loved it. Did you ever do anything with Craig Cornett, the late, great Craig Cornett?
Okay, so oddly enough, when I said earlier about the DJ that was asked to play music, that was Craig. Yeah, it was Craig. So.
Love that man.
Yeah.
I used to go to Kicks at the Marriott West on Friday nights, Saturday nights, do a lot of disco dancing. Yeah, these are fun times, folks. Do you remember these?
This is a throwback.
Yeah, right? I bet you and I have crossed paths somehow. We just didn't know it. So everybody, we're going to be looking at the comments and questions as we shift gears here. We're going to talk about the Unicorn Ball and how this all came about. But I want to share this. Let's look at some beautiful pictures of Todd and his wife. Unfortunately, she's no longer with us. She lost her life last year. They were just a couple of days away from their 28th wedding anniversary. They would have been married on September 2nd, 2023 for 28 years. Her birthday actually would have been earlier this month on June 2nd. She would have been 55. And April 6, 2023, there was a post that was put out, and I wanted to share this. This was from an Aaron Cox. Is Aaron a good friend of yours?
Really good friend of mine.
So Aaron, and then I quote, "When I was 21, I went to the Trainwreck Saloon to have some drinks and listen to a band with my friends. It was really hard to get on the dance floor because there was this couple owning the damn place. The guy was spinning her around. She was laughing. She was hugging him from behind. I swear they didn't sit down the entire show and didn't have a care in the world. I watched them for hours thinking, I want a love like theirs." 8 years later, she said, "I met Todd Thomas. I knew he looked familiar. It wasn't until a few months later, sitting at the kitchen table with him and his beautiful wife, that I realized It was them. Their love, their playfulness made such an impact on me that I remembered their faces all those years later. Thank you to Sherry and Todd for setting the perfect example of living life to its fullest, loving with no boundaries or fear of judgment, embracing each other in every moment, and literally dancing like no one was watching. And this woman, Erin, again said to Sherry, "You were nothing short of magic, and like glitter, your goodness will forever sprinkle down on us." And there were, thousands of posts like that when the announcement came that she had passed. Looking at these pictures, Todd, I know it's hard. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I wanted to show these, though. I wish I had known her. I fell in love with the two of you when I read through this. That was actually your last vacation, just a month before she passed, was it not?
Yeah.
Where was that?
Bar Harbor.
I'm so sorry.
It's
Give
all
me your
right.
hand. You okay?
Yeah, can I have some
Yes,
Kleenex?
you absolutely can. What a beautiful soul. I mean, obviously physically as well as on the inside. Hard to look at. Tell me about her, since I didn't get a chance to meet her.
She was amazing. Let me just gather myself for a second here.
Absolutely.
I'll start with the reason the whole unicorn thing is because she didn't march to the beat of the band. She kind of did her own thing, and she said that she was either a crazy lady or a unicorn. So, she was really into holistic, not really Western medicine, and she had a huge heart. She was extremely intelligent. She was valedictorian of her class at Lindbergh, where she graduated, and she, I don't think ever got a B in college, and she was an incredible mom, but she just had a huge heart and gave to, just her wisdom to teachers, to our kids, to everyone, and she was so passionate. And what was amazing is that she never knew a stranger, and when let's say we go on trips because we love to travel, I want to just get on a plane and kind of not talk to anyone, right? And she wants to talk to everyone. So it kind of worked out that I would sit either on the aisle or on the window, and then she'd be in the middle. And whoever that person was, whether they wanted or not, they were going to get however long the flight was, a great conversation. And she was diagnosed in 2021 with breast cancer, and luckily, although she had cancer and knew that it was stage 4, never ever acted like she knew or thought that she was going to not make it. And even until the end, she still was fighting. And so now, here we are. I've got 3 kids, a senior, a junior, and a freshman in college. They all graduated from Lindbergh, and we were trying to think about. I was at, so we already had thought about having this unicorn ball for her, just kind of as a, her birthday was a couple weeks ago. And so the idea was, hey, let's just have a big party, because she loved to dance, she loved to dress up. And when I went to, my youngest son that just graduated high school got a couple of scholarships. And while I was there, I think they gave away 100 scholarships, and I bet 70 of them were people of families or friends of someone giving a memorial scholarship, and they would get up and talk about the person. I'm like, okay, this is my calling of what we're going to do for the Unicorn Ball. I'm going to get some donations. We're going to start memorial scholarship for her, and it's kind of snowballed into where we're at now. So it's this Friday, and I couldn't be happier about the way that things are turning out. We've got some amazing, the thing, it's more a party, it's more a get-together, but it also is going to be a fundraiser.
Right, absolutely. And I know that the community has come out big time already for you. Tickets are available. We're going to show you a couple of QR codes. One is going to be for tickets. One is for donations. And you can see it's this Friday, Royal Orleans, which is on Telegraph Road, 6:30 to 11 p.m. Again, as Todd said, eating, drinking, dancing, helping raising money for the Sherry Thomas Memorial Scholarship at Lindbergh High School, as well as there's a couple of others. Is it Sunday Night Lights? And then...
and then the Pink Ribbon Ladies also, they are amazing organization that really helped us out early on, with cleaning supplies and, food. We got food deliveries and all that, because it was overwhelming at the beginning, and, all these people want to help. But, when you have food delivered once a week, and it was the great thing about it is that I chose either where it just came and it was ready to eat, or they came and you made a meal. Mm-hmm. And I chose that because that kind of helped us all with the kids and making the dinners together. It's kind of like a double good thing.
Sure. And now you have pinkribbongirls.org, by the way.
Yeah.
So Lindbergh High School, obviously very special to you,
Mm-hmm.
and I know a lot of alums. I had a picture earlier of one of my dear friends, who's also a dear friend of Todd's, who has been on this show. Do you have that picture of Brian McKenna and Todd
Brian
together? Oh my gosh, Brian is absolutely, he's one of the funniest, most quick-witted people ever. What was this night about?
Okay, so we both made it into the Lindbergh. Oh my God, Lindbergh Leaders.
It was like a leadership?
Yeah. Lindbergh Leaders. Yeah, it's a thing they do like maybe 8 to 10 people a year, and I was very involved with my kids at their elementary school at Concord and started a dad's group called Dads of Concord, and the crazy thing is that I had friends that were at private school dads, and they were always going to these events and drinking and having a good time and all the camaraderie. And I grew up in a small town, so I knew everyone. And when I was growing up, well, here I am in St. Louis, and it's kind of hard. How they say the whole what high school are you from?
Yeah.
St. Louis is a hard, even as outgoing as I am, it's hard to meet people because everyone's like, I got my friend group, I'm good. I got my friend group, I'm good. So once I was walking the halls at some of these events at the school, I was like, man, I think that guy would be fun to hang out with. So I created this Dads of Concord, and then we started doing casino nights and raising money, and it's still going. It's really fun.
That guy is fun to hang out with.
And then Brian McKenna, obviously, he's a legend.
Yes, he is.
And we went in at the same year, so it was really fun.
Oh my gosh. All you have to do is hang out at Pueblo Solis and he'll come walking in at some point.
Don't get the margarita that he suggests.
I know.
If you do, just get one of them.
Oh, do you know my cousin Glenn Hurd? Glenn's a Lindbergh guy.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, Glenn and Brian are super, super close friends.
Yeah.
We were just together at Pueblo Solis about a month and a half ago, and my cousin Glenn comes walking in with shots. I'm like, come on, the margaritas are strong enough.
Yes.
Get out of here.
Yes, the margaritas are strong.
So yeah, it's great, guys. If you haven't seen, I'm sure Michelle's probably already dropped in for you. You've got to watch the interview that we did with Brian. Very powerful interview. Also, as we obviously had fun together, but then talked about his amazing struggles that he's been through. That man is a rock star.
Yeah, that's a great way to describe him.
He's just like your wife, obviously. Where did you and your wife meet? What was your first date?
Okay, the greatest first thing I say is she was working as a waitress in a
cocktail bar.
Yeah, there was a country bar up in North County, and
Which was little bit of Texas, Cactus Moon.
Cactus Moon.
How do we not know each other? I bartended there.
Oh my God, this is crazy. I bet by the end of the show we're gonna be like, okay, then we figured it out.
Distant cousins.
Yeah, she was a cocktail waitress there, and I went and as I told you, she loved to dance. I loved to dance. Well, I was out cutting it up and having a good time, and she came up towards the end of the night with a napkin and said, "You look like you'd be a lot of fun," and gave me your number.
Oh, look at you!
Yeah.
Way to go, Sherry! Woo, woo, shaw, shaw, shaw. I love it. Again, I love to see the beginnings. And so you two dated for how long? Look, how old are you two there?
Okay, that's mid 90s. So we're I'm 25, 26. That's right about the time we got married. Yeah, she that outfit was her staple. She loved Stevie Nicks.
Oh yeah.
And so it was kind of Stevie Nicks inspired Fleetwood
Mac. Stevie Nicks-esque. I love it. So you dated for 5?
No, we dated. So 95 is when we got married, but we pretty quickly, dated and got married within a year and a half, maybe.
okay.
And but then we waited. We traveled a lot before we had kids, which I strongly suggest doing because
Have your own time.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. It was
really
great.
get to know and love each other.
And then finally we were like, okay, it's time to have some kids.
And your children are how old now?
So 21, 20, and 18.
Okay, I got to give you trouble here, and I almost brought it in, but I did not. So is it your daughter that goes to Alabama?
My daughter goes to
So I know he
Alabama.
won't finish this for me. War?
Eagle.
Oh, you are going to. Thank you. That's courtesy.
Here's a funny thing about me, right? So 4 years ago, I didn't like Mizzou, I didn't like Alabama, and I didn't like Indiana. I grew up in Central Illinois, so I'm a Illinois fan. I didn't like Alabama just because they were. It's like liking the New York Yankees,
Right?
Or the,
Enough
or the-
already,
or-
Nick
yeah, the-
Saban.
yeah,
Well, now he's not even with them anymore.
or the Patriots. But here I am, and I didn't like Mizzou because I liked Illinois, and it was kind of a rival.
Makes sense.
My son goes to Mizzou. I have a Mizzou sticker on my truck. My daughter goes to Alabama. I have an Alabama sticker on my truck. And now my youngest son is going to go to Indiana. Indiana sticker.
Oh, that's
coming.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Full circle.
Right.
Well,
So-
I like you as a person, so I'll give you a pass on the Alabama thing. My husband's whole family, we are big Auburn fans, and it's so funny the rivalry between Alabama and Auburn. We were just in Birmingham for his surprise birthday last year, and I told all my friends who had never been before, it is beautiful. I mean, just going to, whether you go to Tuscaloosa or whether you're going to Auburn, just at some point, introduce yourself to Alabama. Some of the sweetest people, some of the best food scene, by the way.
Right.
They really are. They've been up and coming for a while, but people are like, Alabama. I'm like, no, you don't know what you're talking about.
Right. Yeah, there's some great restaurants down there. I went to visit Sydney at college last year, and I made a shirt that said "Roll Todd."
Roll Tide. I love it. Sydney. So where did is it SYDNEY?
Yes,
Is it out of Sydney, Australia, or where did her name come from?
Well, it's kind of twofold. Our favorite restaurant was Sydney Street Cafe.
Oh yes.
And there was, man, this is dating you, but Melrose Place, there was a Sydney on there.
Yes.
It was just like the name. So
Okay.
that's how she got that.
And there she is, and you got
Yeah.
a chance to work with
Oh,
her.
that's awesome. Yeah, last year was her first year as a Team Fredberg girl. So
She did her first T-shirt toss. I
yeah,
saw.
Yep. So she gets to hang out with me during the summers. So it's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And then you do, and I'm going to take a break, and we'll come back with this. You do a restaurant review with your son, Austin.
Yes.
And you're into like week 39. I
40.
think. Oh, 40 now.
Yes.
Okay, missed 40. I saw 38 and 39.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that, how that all came about, and dare we have him put his costume on? I think we need
I
to.
bet we do.
Can you do that for me?
Sure.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with Todd.
We need women to lift women up.
Let's do that. Being on Monica's show, it was like one of the best interviews I've ever had.
Monica's very real, and she really cares about people.
She's changing lives.
Changing lives.
I think this is just really what people want to see.
Giving back so much to the community, and I really appreciate it.
Today, Monica was extraordinarily real, not only with me, but with her viewers and her listeners.
Made the interview process like talking to a friend.
How are you doing? Haven't seen you in a few weeks.
Hey. You're close.
Monica. Whoa. So go out in this world and be anything you want to be. But before you do that, first, be kind.
Welcome back. Again, thanks for being with us. I'm your host, Monica Adams, Todd Thomas, my guest. And let's just look at some comments before we get into the reviews of the restaurant that he's been doing and how that all came about. Some of his favorites. He's being real. That's what we need more of in life, right? More authenticity. A lot of people are saying, thank you for being so raw, Thomas. Thank you, Todd Thomas, for being so real and showing these emotions. Love you guys. Holly Stockman says, let's honor Sherry this Friday. Can't wait. Again, the Unicorn Ball, we mentioned June 14th. It will be at Royal Orleans, and we'll show you the QR codes, how you can get tickets, how you can donate. Rich says, you're a good man. Todd, I know it's hard for you right now. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I mentioned that Lindbergh Schools Foundation made a comment, and they said, honored to be helping your family create a scholarship that will honor Sherry for years and years to come. Donations for the Sherry Thomas Memorial Scholarship can be made here, and they put a link for you if you can look there in the comments. Again, we'll be looking at this. I'll I'll make sure that Todd does as well, and he after the show, and maybe in the coming days, can comment to you if we missed any of them. Your son Austin and you started this 40 shows ago. I should say 40 posts ago, because this is on your Facebook page.
Yes. It was tough having a mom go through all this. My older two kids were at college, so Austin was at home, and he experienced a little different story than did my older kids. And so upon Sherry's passing, I knew that it was his senior year, and I kind of want to make it special and spend some more quality time with him. So can I have another Kleenex,
Absolutely.
please?
You keep them by you.
We started, I said, what if just once a week, we could do things more than that, but once a week, I promise you that we'll go out to either lunch or dinner, but it's got to be a place that neither of us has gone. I don't want to, because you keep getting the grind of going to the same places all the time and ordering the same stuff. And I said, then that way we can experience new places. And it said, a lot of them will be great, but some are, we're going to have some strikeouts, so that's fine. But though it's not about the food, it's about the time that we get together. And so I think we just did week 39 or 40, and we have had some great meals. We've had some great experiences. I've even had people reach out to me and say, hey, come here and, give us a free appetizer or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's been a really, really cool experience.
And we're looking at some of them. I think week 39 was a place that's been around for a long time, and maybe you haven't experienced it yet. Cafe Provençal is amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Was that your favorite?
And it happened by accident. So there's so this was a rare occasion. Usually it's just he and I. But my older son, Tyler, was home, and his girlfriend came in to visit him. And then Austin with his girlfriend. So 5 of us went, which is normally not the case. And we were going to go to this place in Kirkwood that I've been wanting to go to. It's been many things. It was a Greek place. It was a sushi place. It was supposed to be a ramen place. Now we pull in, it's closed. So we come back to Cafe Provençal. And I walk up and I'm like, we were underdressed, first of all, because
and you were like the youngest by 50 years.
Yeah, it looked like a bunch of elderly ladies were having their tea, morning tea. But we went in, and the food was just incredible. We had escargot, which some of the kids had never had before. So, and that's the other thing too, is you get to try new stuff.
Right?
But, oh my gosh, the food was just fantastic. It was
one of the boys' girlfriends. Is it Ella? Yeah. Is that Tyler's?
That's Tyler's girlfriend.
So is she the one that didn't like it?
Well, she doesn't eat fish.
Okay.
Like she doesn't eat sushi, and so it was you got to try it.
Did she spit it out?
She was very nice about it. But
what is this? Why are we eating this? What has been Austin's favorite in these 40 weeks?
Well, that one is
his favorite?
Was pretty good, and unfortunately, I don't remember the name of it. There is a little Italian type restaurant in Maplewood on Manchester, across from like the Shop and Save. We went in there one night, and it was really good. I wish I remember the name.
Acero?
What?
Acero? Is it Acero?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep talking. I bet you it is.
That's it. Yes. Yeah. That was really good. And then, oddly enough, and again, I'm going to. Yeah. And then I looked this one up. It's called Butcher and Block or Block and.
I think it's Butcher and Block.
If that's the one that's like in.
Oh no. Hold on. Is it are you talking about in Webster Groves?
No.
No? Where?
Not Butcher and Block. Anyway, it's a Del Pietro owned place, and it is unbelievable. That was actually the first one that we went to, and it's kind of like a drug in which you're trying to catch that feeling again. How good that food was.
Is it the Block? The Block restaurant?
It's not just the Block. Oh man, what?
Because that says Chef Mark Del Pietro.
It's
the Block in the Central West End. It's not.
It's not. It's,
darn it. Well, we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out that. But that was really good. We've had some great ones, and there was one. And if it's bad, I'll be honest about it, but I'm not going to tag.
Yes.
I'm not out to kind of give anyone bad press, right?
I was going to say, but you want to be real and just say, well, but again, it's the same thing. If we always just say, well, this is my experience, but maybe you had a great one.
Right.
Everybody has off days. The kitchen has off days. Customer service has off days. But to truly, and this goes out, this is a great message for all of you, to truly try and take someone down and be so mean is what we need less of in this world.
Right, and that's not what
you
I
can
wanna
just
do
say,
at all, right.
it wasn't one of my favorites, but find something good in it.
Yes.
And pass that along.
Yes.
How much fun has that been? But yes, I was just going to say, obviously, very difficult for all of you to lose the love of your life, to lose their mom. How are they getting along as you have just gone through what would have been her 55th birthday?
Yeah.
I mean, those celebrations of life are hard.
I think the reason that everyone is doing so well is because how great of parents we are, but especially her, hands-on, and she didn't, after we had kids, she didn't work, and so she was with them, and they were her life. And the greatest thing is that they all have a part of her. I see it in each of them, and I almost feel like I worked my butt off for however many years while kind of bringing home the money, and she was kind of the mother, and we parented together. Well, now it's kind of like, for me, and this is what is so great, is it's as if you're in a relay race, and now I'm handed a baton, and now this next part of my life where I can slow down and I can enjoy the kids. I'm going to have 3 in college this year, and so that's really been eye-opening for me. In that, with my business, I mentioned earlier that we had 85 weddings in 2 months. We had 4 where we did 12. Well, guess what? I'm not necessarily working as much anymore, so I can still run my business, but I don't have to be the one doing all that. And I can go to Father's weekends or Parents' weekends, and I can pick up and go do stuff, or go to a winery on a Saturday that I never could do before because I was working. And that's what's really been eye-opening for me. In that, it's kind of, the first chapter was us all together, and then now it's me and the kids.
Yeah. Which, again, you didn't sign up for, but
No.
I mean, that's the hardest thing for so many. And we've had so many people. Tomorrow, by the way, is our 1-year anniversary of launching here in the studios.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. We started the show in March from the house, had the dream to launch here. But I have loved each and every person that has sat in this chair and shared the stories of incredible human beings like Sherry, that we feel like we get to know them. And it's hard because a lot of people have said, I've questioned, why would God do this? Then I've said, how could I go on, though, if I didn't have faith? Like, what am I going to lean in on? Because there are responsibilities moving forward. You have this thriving business. You've got a community that loves having you around, but more importantly, you've got children that feel lost, and you're like, well, we're all in a loss together, but I have to show up for them, right?
And the thing that is really easy to kind of just keep in your head is that there's not a playbook for it. Like, the way that I'm dealing with this is not the way that someone else does, and it's not that my way is right and their way is wrong. Everyone's different. Everyone grieves differently. I am a uplifting person. I'm an optimistic person, and I always, see glass half full.
Yes.
And so if, someone's struggling, it's not that they're any different or I'm better. It's just that I'm dealing with things differently, and this is how it's working for me. I keep myself busy. I focus on some things. I make sure that I'm doing well. I make sure that my kids are doing well. And I don't want to say that I'm happier than I've ever been, but I am pretty freaking happy.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, and I was just going to say, the important part is you do have to take care of you. And I was just going to say, I've heard a lot of people, we've all been there, where we just immerse ourselves in our business and in working, which sometimes is not the best thing for us, because eventually you go, whoa, and when you allow the emotions to come in, but you go through that bevy of emotions, right? The fear of what's going to take place from here, that now she's no longer here, the anger, the shock, the denial. Do you feel like you've been through every emotion?
A lot of them, yes.
Yeah.
And and I'm not saying that doesn't come, and it still comes and goes. There's days like when I was watching these pictures, I got really emotional because it's real. And there are times, I'm sure, at the Unicorn Ball, it's going to be an emotional thing, but it's going to be more uplifting and and honoring her, and everyone's going to dress up that's what I'm excited about, is
Yes.
seeing all the outfits that people are going to wear.
Well, yeah, and he has a video, by the way, if you follow, and I want you to follow Todd on Facebook, and he talks about the attire and says what you should wear. Are you going to wear this costume there?
Yeah, I'll be happy to.
Well, he's going to put it on for us as well. Can we say, though, which son is it of yours that's wearing the fur vest?
That's Tyler.
Why does he have that on?
Well, he gets his humor and his
From you?
He always dresses kind of like shock value type stuff. So that's a fur vest, and he went
We were
shirtless.
watching it yesterday, and we're like, wait, why?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen the video, and if you want to follow him, all of his kids actually go through and then tell you how to get tickets, etc., which I love that you incorporated all of them. Let's put it up on the screen again as we get ready to wrap up. We are going to have him put the costume on. So it's the magical celebration for a true unicorn that lived on this earth. Friday, June 14th, this Friday, 6:30 to 11 p.m., Royal Orleans, again on Telegraph Road. Come out, wear your best costumes, have fun. More colorful, the better. You want to wear a unicorn and come walking in a unicorn, you do it. You be you. Prices are $65 a ticket. That includes your dinner and a premium open bar. To purchase tickets, do me a favor, get out your phones right now and scan that QR code. That is to get tickets. Now, you still have the opportunity for people to make donations also?
Absolutely. That will go straight to the Lindbergh Foundation, which will help with the scholarship that we're going to set up that will go to a graduating senior every year.
Okay.
I would like to say that we've got some incredible donated items, for my affiliation with the Cardinals and the Blues and all that. So what we've decided to do is that there's about, I think, 5 or 6 or 7 items that we're actually going to do an online auction that people don't have to be at the ball to bid on. Like one is a first pitch at a Cardinals game.
That's huge.
4 tickets, all-inclusive tickets to a Blues game, and a visit to the Bally Sports booth, behind the scenes with me at a game. So some of those items will be able to bid on, but not have to be at the ball.
They can do that online?
Yeah, they'll do that online. I think that's going to come out soon. How we're going to work that out is where they can find it. But if they're on Facebook, we've got a Facebook page too. So somehow they can find into these items if they're interested in bidding on.
Yes, and my team has been dropping for you everything you need to know with regards to how to get tickets, the QR code, that Facebook page that he's talking about. So do us a favor and be sure to follow Todd online for all of this. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We always wrap up with a devotional, 100 Days to Freedom. Without Todd knowing these, I'm just going to ask you to pick a color. What color are you drawn to? Which one of that is a color that Sherry would tell you to pick?
Purple.
Purple. So that is, by the way, fear and anxiety.
Okay.
100 Days to Freedom from Fear and Anxiety. We'll do that devotional, and while I do that, I'm going to have him get in costume. And that's how we're going to wrap up the show when we return.
You are truly an incredible human being, and just what you're doing is so inspiring. This was really a cathartic experience for me. So I appreciate you, love you.
It's been an honor to not only just be here on set with you, but just to sit in your presence. You inspire everyone around you, from your motivational speaking to your podcast here, to just being the human that you are.
It's just such a joy to be able to see you at this point in your career. Really following your passion, fulfilling your dreams, and encouraging other people to do the same.
I feel that I've been missing out. I believe God places people like you in people's lives for a reason. You have definitely been a God wing for me.
Welcome back. We are in the wrap-up of the show. If you're just tuning in, please do me a favor and go back. This has been a very powerful hour. This is a show I want you to share with your family and with your friends. And if you can, every morning at some point, grab some inspiration and motivation, even when you're having to run out. This is a great way, as you just saw, to start your day. We end every show, by the way, with one of these, 100 Days to Freedom from, and Todd picked the purple one. This is fear and anxiety. I want you to listen to this. A message in this is for you. God's promise. The Lord says, I will rescue those who love me. I will protect those who trust in my name. When they call on me, I will answer. I will be with them in trouble. I will rescue and honor them. I will reward them with a long life and give them my salvation. That's Psalm 91, verses 14 through 16. So think about this when you're afraid or when you're anxious. We want assurance that everything will be all right. Many times when we share our concerns with someone, they will try to encourage us by saying, everything will be all right. But we usually don't believe it, do we? When our concerns dominate our thoughts, it's hard to believe that things will all work out. We defend our anxious, our fearful belief, and find it hard to listen to anybody's opinions. Yet the very things we need are calm reassurance and the ability to trust that it will all work out. God's promise in this passage is pretty clear. He's with us, working out whether trouble we are experiencing. He will rescue us. What are you believing about your situation? Does it seem like God is not fulfilling his promise to rescue you? God's timing is perfect, but as humans, we can't quite grasp why it takes so long for God to deliver our prayer. Yet this is what the promise says. When we call on him, he will be with us in our trouble. What do you need to call on God for today? Billy Graham said, God's hand never slips. He never makes a mistake. His every move is for our own good and for our ultimate good. Tony Evans said, sometimes God lets you be in a situation that only he can fix so that you can see that he's the one who fixes it. Rest. He's got it. And backtrack and remember all the places God has been so faithful before in your life. Then go forward with assurance and confidence. He is the same faithful God. Your prayer for today, Heavenly Father, thank you for your loving care for me. Strengthen my faith in you. I know you're always working in my life for good. That brings me peace. Amen. I'm sure that resonated with Todd.
Yeah.
Right? You couldn't have picked a better one.
Right, how about
Surely
that?
you couldn't have picked a better one. And he promised to put it on, and there you go.
Yeah.
He even has a tail to that.
Right, yeah, it's got a little tail here.
Who designed this?
I don't know. I got it off of Amazon. It's a unicorn onesie. It's got a.
Look at, let's put that over. There we go. There it is. That's the full-on unicorn. Well, thank you, Todd, again. I can't believe all these years that we have not met, but thank you for sharing the love that the two of you had. Thank you for sharing a little bit of her life with us. And to all of you, if you're looking for something to do and you just want to immerse yourself in a lot of fun, the Unicorn Ball again this Friday, Royal Orleans on Telegraph, starting at 6:30. Tickets available, donations, and then keep an eye to his page and the Unicorn Ball page to find out how, if you can't be there, how you could possibly bid on those online items, which I think would be absolutely remarkable. We'll continue to look at comments and questions throughout the day as a lot of you get a chance to come home and watch this. And just to all of you, besides Todd, thank you for the message. I know a lot of you are struggling at home and sometimes you wonder just how you're going to get through the day. Maybe right now you're sitting by someone's bed, you took a little break, and maybe they themselves don't have many days to live and you just think, how am I going to go on? Maybe something that Todd said to you today is going to help you with that, because it is hard to continue, but you have your life. Maybe you have children, you have others that are counting on you, but the most important thing, which is why I asked Todd this, you got to take care of yourself, and please continue to do that, my friend.
Yeah.
To all of you, thank you. Remember, enjoy the day. It's going to be hot as we get into Thursday. Father's Day this weekend. Don't forget about your dads. It's going to be really, really hot as we get up to 98 degrees. But the biggest thing, no matter what, try not to be miserable. Try to get rid of the meanness and find kindness, because that's the one major message that we have in each and every one of the days, and that is to spread the love of kindness. God bless you all.